The buildings that power your ChatGPT and your Netflix need so much electricity that some cities are refusing to let new ones be built. Elon Musk plans to launch them into space. By the end of this video, you'll know how this incredible engineering feat works and why Musk wants to do it.
Boss says the build site is up there. Up there?
Every time you ask ChatGPT a question or you stream a show on Netflix, your request travels to a massive building full of thousands of computers called a data center. The computers need electricity to run and cooling to avoid overheating. Data centers need so much of both that by 2030, they could drive about half of the growth in the US electricity demand. We simply cannot build them fast enough on the ground. Musk's plan is to put those computers onto satellites and launch them into orbit. Depending on the orbit, a satellite can spend most of its time in sunlight. And in the right orbit, it can get almost non-stop solar power. You get strong, steady sunlight without an atmosphere or clouds getting in the way. So solar power is way more reliable in space than it is on the ground. And because space has no air, you don't use water or giant fan systems. You push heat into radiator panels and you dump it out. Now, these data centers won't look like the data centers we have here on the ground. Instead of one giant building, it's a swarm of satellites, each loaded with AI chips, linked by lasers so they work together like one massive computer. SpaceX just asked the federal government for permission to launch up to 1 million of these satellites. There are fewer than 20,000 satellites circling Earth right now. For Musk, this is personal. His company, xAI, needs a ton of computing power to train its AI models, and getting enough electricity to run it all is one of the biggest roadblocks. Any compute they don't use could be rented out, turning SpaceX into a cloud computing company in orbit. SpaceX filed the plan and then just days later announced a merger with xAI. The timing tells you where this is headed. There's one more massive business advantage that makes this worth the headache, and that is speed. On Earth, a lot of internet data travels as tiny flashes of light inside glass fiber cables. But glass slows light down. In space, there's no glass. So those same signals can move more than 50 times faster than they do inside fiber. I started my career on a trading desk at Goldman Sachs. On Wall Street, trades are won and lost in milliseconds. Musk is not just selling computing power, he is selling time. But before anyone makes a dollar, there are serious problems to solve. Radiation in space can corrupt data and damage the delicate electronics unless the hardware is hardened. And if these satellites only last around 5 years, a 1 million satellite network would mean that you need to replace 200,000 satellites every year just to stay even. And if they crash into each other, they can scatter thousands of fast-moving debris pieces into a crowded orbit, making it more dangerous for every satellite that comes after. Despite all that, money is pouring into this idea of data centers in orbit. Musk claims that space will be the cheapest place for AI within 2 to 3 years. Google's research puts that timeline closer to the mid-2030s before the economics make sense. But it has already begun. In late 2025, a startup called Starcloud launched a satellite with an NVIDIA AI chip on board, and they actually ran an AI model in orbit. Google plans to launch prototype AI satellites by 2027. If the engineering catches up to the ambition, the AI behind your apps could scale without limit. The race is on.
Automatic Addison.